Crafting their own lightsaber is a rite of passage for a Jedi. More than a weapon, it's a reflection of their journey, their struggles, and who they are. For Cal Kestis, this saber is where everything began. And just like Cal, who modifies and personalizes his saber throughout his journey, today I'm going to show you 3 steps to take the Nsabers Boone Kestis and transform it into something that looks exactly like the concept art that started it all. But first, let's unbox it. Most neopixel lightsabers come out of the box ready to go. A blade, a stand, and you're all set. But this saber was designed with a different idea in mind. For starters, it comes with a flat samurai style blade, and it can take a standard neopixel blade too. 2 completely different looks in one hilt. But that's just the beginning. You're also given the tools to finish it yourself. A cloth wrap, leather cord, and a gold marker. And beyond that, I'll be adding my own weathering touches. But before I show you how to do all of that, there's a question worth asking. Why would a lightsaber need finishing? And why would you want it to look worn, wrapped, and built from scraps? To understand that, you have to understand who Cal Kestis is and what he survived. The first time I booted up Fallen Order, I remember thinking Bracca looks like nothing else in Star Wars. This is where Cal spent years hiding who he was, working as a scrapper among the wreckage. Order 66 destroyed the Jedi Order. Cal was one of the few who survived, and Bracca became his refuge. And that got me thinking about this saber and why it looks the way it does. So I cracked open the art book and started looking for answers. Bracca is worn, industrial, and built from scraps. A graveyard of everything the Clone Wars left behind. Then I found the concept art for this saber, and that's when it all made sense to me. The saber looks exactly like the world that Cal was living in. Just like the crashed ships and the scrap around Bracca, this saber, to me at least, looks like it was picked from the scrap, piece by piece, and formed into a lightsaber. One thing that immediately stood out to me about this saber straight out of the box is the weathering. It's everywhere, from the pommel all the way to the emitter, which also has scorch marks from every time it was ignited. Another detail I enjoy is the ignition and auxiliary buttons. They're cleverly hidden as greeblies, which are small surface details that make a prop look complex and functional, making them look like a natural part of the saber rather than an afterthought. Now, the power button will of course ignite the saber, and the auxiliary button will create a blaster deflect sound when tapped. And that's just a hint of what you can do. We'll get into the full demo once the saber is complete. Now, there's one more detail I want to look at before we start making some additions, and that's the ring at the end of the pommel. To me, it's reminiscent of the attachments you see on Cal's climbing harness and belt throughout the game. Just another small detail that feels completely intentional. As good as this saber looks right now, it doesn't quite look like the concept art, which brings us to step 1, adding the wrap. Looking through the art book, something really stood out to me. The artists weren't just designing a saber, they were designing pieces of Cal's life. His hilt was influenced by his time on Bracca and the world of scrap around him. But then there's the wrap. Cal couldn't walk around in Jedi robes or a tunic since he was in hiding, so they gave him a poncho instead. But look at how it flows, worn, frayed from his lifestyle, but still with that Jedi quality to it. And to me, that wrap on the saber is the same thing. It flows like a robe, and it's worn and frayed like someone who has been surviving for years. The artists took pieces of who Cal is and wove them directly into this saber. The concept art gives you a really good guide for placement. You can see it sits in the grip area running down the hilt and partially over the pommel. But one thing I love about this process is that you can put a bit of yourself into it. The concept art is your reference, not your rulebook. For me, I'll be adding a slight crisscross pattern as I go. I'm also keeping some of the metal exposed here. If you look at the concept art, the wrap doesn't cover the entire hilt. And if you think about it, all the battles the saber has seen, it makes sense that the wrap has come loose and moved around over time. Keep this in mind for when we start adding the weathering. Now for the cord. It's gonna hold the wrap in place at the top and bottom. You can just tie it on and cut it to the length you want. And I want some pieces to dangle from the pommel just above the ring, like in the concept art. I am honestly so impressed with how good this thing looks just with the wrap and cord on. You could leave it here and have an amazing looking saber. I love the little piece I added here at the end too. I did that so when you unscrew it, you can still access the chassis easily. So just cut a little extra piece off and you are good to go. But we aren't stopping here, because up next we are going to add the gold detailing. Colored lines and markings show up everywhere in Star Wars. Ships use them to identify their squadron, you'll spot them on droids and helmets, and even on familiar characters like Han Solo with his distinctive striped pants. And here on this lightsaber, we have those same kind of markings. The cool part is we're going to be drawing them on ourselves. Now, this is an oil-based paint marker, so you don't need to prep anything. And it's water and fade resistant, so you don't have to worry about sealing anything afterwards either. Now, I'm going to be following the concept art as closely as I can with the angles available. My tip for getting the lines as clean as possible is to draw the outline first of the box or shape you want, and then color it in. And take your time with this part. Just know that if you're making a mistake, it's not coming off, but honestly, that's okay. Remember, the saber is meant to look worn and used. Over time, those markings wouldn't stay perfect anyway. And the point isn't perfection, it's to have fun and put your own mark on it. And as I took a look at the specific markings, I started to notice some connections to Cal's world. The gray and yellow of the ship cutters on Braca, the striping on the Mantis, and even the detailing you see on BD-1 in the game. To me, the concept art for this saber draws from so many parts of Cal's world. Now, everything we've done so far came from everything in the box, but I wanted to take this one step further. Because looking at the concept art and thinking about Cal's journey, I felt like something is still missing. The evidence of a life spent surviving. So step 3 is weathering the wrap. And after that, I'll walk you through the sound fonts, colors, and how to make this saber your own. Now for the weathering, I'm using 2 things. First up is non-oil, which is a wash used in model painting that gives a really nice subtle dirt and shadow effect. I'm thinning it out using an airbrush medium so it won't be too heavy, and using a brush to dab it on in the areas where your hand would naturally grip the saber. The places you touch the most are the places that show the most history. And if you don't have non-oil, brew some black tea. It's a great alternative that you might already have at home. It gives a similar aged and stained look to the cloth. Now, the second thing I want to add is a Thonian camo shade, which is a muted green wash. After escaping Braca, the first planet Cal visits is Bogano, and it couldn't be more different. It's a lush, overgrown, and full of life. I wanted that contrast on this saber, where Cal came from and where his journey is taking him. Plus, when you're running through the tall grass and fighting creatures, I'm pretty sure some of that would make its way onto the wrap. I'm not going as heavy with this one though. Just a little here and there to add some color. And I am so happy with how this turned out. The weathering is very subtle and you can definitely notice it still though. If you want a dirtier, more worn look, just don't thin your washes. But for me, this is exactly what I was going for. Honestly, this process has been a ton of fun. I am not the most artistic person, so seeing the final result really surprised me. And watching each step change the look of this saber and getting to add my own touches made it so much fun and very personal. I can't wait to display it. But before it goes on the shelf, let's see what this thing can do. I'll be demoing this with the flat samurai blade first, but I'm gonna swap to the standard blade too so you can see the difference and decide which one's the right fit for you. First things first, the ignition. And there's no button required for this. All you have to do is twist the hilt and this thing comes to life. And honestly, it feels so much more immersive than pressing a button. like you're actually using the force to ignite it. Although if you prefer a button, that is an option here as well. The saber comes with 12 preset colors, and to cycle through them, you can use the ForcePark V2 app. Down here, you'll see switch blade color, and when you tap, it'll go ahead and cycle through all 12 of them. Now, the samurai blade isn't quite as bright as some of the others, but with one of the effects, it looks the coolest. And that's the gradient effect. Look at how cool this looks. And if you switch blade colors, it'll switch where they lie on the saber as well. And in the app, you can get even more intricate. You can come to the data modify section and go to the color palette where you can pick any color you want, from a cool hot pink to a lime green, and any color that you want in here, you can just snag. So you aren't only limited to the 12 presets. Now the colors also change with each sound font, and this saber comes with 27 pre-installed. And of course, my favorite for this one is the Cal Kestis sound font. And what makes some of these fonts really special is that they come with the voice lines built in. And then there are the effects. We of course have the blaster deflect, lock up, clash. The force effect is up next, which is where you can hear those character voice lines. And you have your melt, stab. Your drag effect will appear at the tip of the lightsaber blade. And of course, your smooth swing. Now I want to show you the same effects on the standard blade so you can see just how different the two look. For this one, I'm going to switch over to the Darth Maul font because each one has a different sound design. All right, let's take a listen to our blaster. Lock up. Clash. Our force effect with our voice lines. Melt. Stab. Our drag at the tip. And let's take a listen to our swing. If you're a Cal Kestis fan or looking for a saber that goes beyond what comes out of the box, this one is absolutely worth it. You can pick it up at Nsabers.com with our code FALCON, and if you enjoyed this video, YouTube thinks you'll like this one next. Let's see if they're right.